Dudes, welcome to hippie history, where it's just a bunch of hippies talking about what happened in the past. I'm Fuzzy. My main dude, Rohan, is going to be teaching us about some dudes that did some stuff.
I think it was something along the lines of people doing things.
No, it was definitely Little Caesar.
Oh, I remember now. In 509 BC, Rome replaced rulers to become a Roman Republic, and the revolt was led by Lucius Brutus. In 501 BC, the first ever dictator, T. Larsius, was appointed, and in 478 BC, Roman conquered Fidene. In 551 to 449 BCE, the Code of the 12 Tables was formed. And before 215 to 148 BCE, Rome fought 4 wars against Greece known as the Macedonian Wars. In 90 BC, a civil war arose in Rome. Then Julius Caesar became the consul. In 58 BC, Caesar made a conquest in Gaul. In 55 BC, Caesar successfully invaded Britain. 44 BC, Julius Caesar was assassinated. And finally, Mark Antony ruled Rome.
Cool.
And in 27 BC, Octavian became the first emperor of Rome.
Bro, when was the salad invented?
That was like cool and all and like fun, but if you could say it a little slower and maybe just only the really important things, just cover those.
All right. First, Rome became a republic after Lucius Brutus led a revolt to defeat the Etruscan rulers. Then a decemvirate was formed, and they wrote the Code of the 12 Tables. The Roman Republic then fought the first, second, and third.
Let's just keep it going.
Third Samnite War. They were fighting for the control of Italy. After those wars, the Roman Republic fought northern Greece in the Macedonian Wars. After Drusus, a person who stated new reforms, was murdered and the Sicilian slave war ended, a civil war broke out in Rome. Julius Caesar then became the consul of Rome and joined Pompey and Cassius. And then Julius Caesar was assassinated, and a few years after Octavian became the first emperor of Rome. And this ended the Roman Republic.
Yeah, that was cool. I was listening. Just go over the important stuff.
Yeah. One main individual, Julius Caesar, he played a critical role in the events that led to the demise of the Roman Republic and the rise of the Roman Empire. He joined the first triumvirate with Pompey and Cassius. He also conquered Gaul. T. Larsius was the first ever dictator of Rome. He was the one leading the men of the early Roman Republic. Mark Antony was part of the second triumvirate after Caesar's death. He was a politician and general who played a critical role in the transformation of the Roman Republic. Augustus became the emperor after Julius Caesar's death. His rule ended the mark of the Roman Republic.
Excellent. Fuzzy, what brings you here on this fine day in hippie history?
Something about politics, man. The thing that the old people do on TV.
Lame! But I want to hear it anyway, just to see how lame it is.
Oh,
You know
absolutely. Rome was governed by the aristocratic Roman senators, which was a council of large landowning patricians. The Senate was originally an advisory body to the early kings in the era of the Roman Republic. This was one of the first representative democracies after the direct democracies of the Greeks. Power was bestowed unto the large, wealthy patricians, male citizens of the Roman Empire. Republic, whatever. There was Little Caesars, man. Their votes outweighed those of the plebeians because they were poor and stuff, and because the consuls wanted to gain military glory for the people while in office, which they were in for like a year or something. They engaged in a lot of wars. Rome conquered Italy after Apennine tribes took over the land in the coastal plains, which are very close in Italy. In the 5th century BC, the Romans set up buffer cities in central Italy to defend against these tribes. The Romans were compliant with the leaders of the conquered peoples so that their interests would be identical. Every year, a senator who held a high office was commissioned as a governor to spend unconquered province. It just was commissioned as a government. It was. Give me a moment. Was commissioned as a governor to a conquered province, where he was responsible for the defense of the foreign and domestic threats, taxation, and legality of cases. Rome, unlike the Greeks, offered citizenship to its conquered people. All who subordinated themselves to the Roman government were given autonomy consisting of governments and taxation.
Radical, dude.
Really?
Nah, man. I could have spent time playing tic-tac-toe with a chicken, you know, bro? Something useful.
What if I bring up religion?
Go for it.
Nobody asked you, loser!
Go for it.
Well, early Romans believed in invisible forces known as Vesta, the living pulsating energy of fire, dwelled in the hearth. Janus guarded the door, Penates watched over the food stored in the cupboard, and other deities resided in nearby hills, caves, grottos, and springs. Romans made small offerings of munchies and liquids to win the favor of these spirits. Certain gods had larger spheres of operation. For example, Jupiter was the god of the sky. Mars was initially god of agriculture as well as war. And the Romans also labored to maintain Pax Diorum, otherwise known as Peace of the Gods, which was a covenant between the gods and the Roman state. For the priests, John from the aristocracy performed sacrifices and other rituals to win the gods' favor. In return, the gods were expected to favor the undertakings of the Roman state. When the Romans came into contact with the Greeks of southern Italy, they equated their major deities with Greek gods. For example, Jupiter was Zeus, Mars was Ares, and they also attached whatever myths they had to their gods. The Romans considered their gods to be analogous to the Greeks. Whatever that means. I don't know, man. I just work here. Just kidding, I don't work.
Well, that was deep. You made me think, and my brain is kind of hurting me now.
Mine too.
Do stuff, bro.
Ow. Fine, bros. The Roman Republic was a very good example of textbooks and classes systems. The gap between each class was pretty big, and in the late Republic, it was not determined by birth, but it was determined by wealth. Because it was based upon wealth, women were classified according to their fathers. Your class determined your economical positions and political opportunities, and also affected your legal rights, benefits, and penalties. Early Republic followed the Patriciano-Plebeian system. The patricians were the rich dudes with power, and the plebeianos were hippies like us, probably living in their mom's basement too.
Do stuff, bro.
Ow.
Where do you get these water bottles from? No. Rome, there was a patron-client relationship in which a patron provided protection to a plebeian, the patron being a patrician, or a lesser patrician, in return that they favor their political or economic goals. Although the Silk Road did not boom in Rome until the age of the Roman Empire, the Roman Republic did trade briefly with China and India. Romans received silk and spices and perfumes from China in exchange for gold. The Roman women felt a huge desire for the silk clothing and the vases it provided, to the point that in the days of the Roman Empire, silk was banned. Much of Rome was agrarian, and that was their main export. A lot of the agrarian agriculture was based off slave labor.
What just happened?
I don't know, dude. How do I get these stupid glasses off?
Can I just say stuff about how the Romans were super cool dudes and they did smart stuff and all that?
Go for it.
Okay. Roads were uniform across all territories and were completely straight. This allowed for their use of their original purpose, being that they were built for rapid travel of their military. These manicured roads allowed trade to flourish in the Republic, allowing many ideas and technology to cross the Republic. They were arches and domes that were constructed. They achieved mathematical feats and produced a standard in which architecture has been compared against. Their bridges that they built were very advanced for this area, each with a specific purpose. An example of this would be that they built two types of bridges. One was for rapid military deployment across rivers and was temporary, while the second was used by everyday citizens and was permanent. Both bridges incorporated the arch. Aqueducts were developed by the Romans during this time. They used a variety of pipes to carry water underground. These pipes were made from clay, stone, and lead. The roles that these pipes played varied from the dispersal of drinking water to waste management. In addition, dams were widely used for water collection and to expose gold that was deposited at the bottoms of rivers. The metal alloy brass was developed, as was this cast iron, and concrete cement were also developed, and all were influential in modern architectural achievement. Methods. Bound books was another innovation that the Romans came up with, made originally from wax tablets that were stacked one by one on each other, and bound at one end they replaced scrolls. Later the books were modified again, but with parchment and animal skins. Battlefield surgery was as important as the soldiers themselves. For the first times there were special units that would perform operations on wounded soldiers. The medics would even sterilize their instruments in hot water before tending to patients. Due to these practices, average lifespans of soldiers was longer than a citizen.
So, they knew stuff?
Totally.
Yo, Bryce.
Yo,
I got something to say.
I wasn't done. Their social structure consists of the plebeians and the patricians. The plebeians were lower class but had voting rights, provided that they were citizens, while the patricians were the more influential upper class who could play a role in politics. Slaves had no rights. Boys were educated until the age of 12 in basic reading, writing, and grammar. They were sent off for a higher form of education to learn more complex fields such as public speaking. Education was only for the wealthy, and now students, the poor, were excluded. The Roman sports and entertainment included track and field, plays, mock naval battles, and chariot races. Roman philosophy is often renowned for its modern outlook on life, and still referred to even today. Now I'm out, dude.
Cool. Let me talk about geography.
That's like rocks or something.
It's like people moving and stuff. They had a mild climate with choice farmlands and hills and rivers. They majorly expanded through military conquests, but the Romans conquered the majority of the western into the southeastern Europe, expanded down into North Africa, and conquered parts of the Middle East, taking modern-day Turkey.
Weren't there other empires during this time?
Yeah, but they were stupid. The Roman Empire had taken over nearly all the European continent and Britain. The Defeat of the Roman army was almost unheard of at the time, save the Carthaginians. The economy of the Roman Republic was one of the largest of the world economies at the time, and trade with China and India briefly occurred towards the end of the Republic, expanding its economical reach.
Does anyone know more stuff?
Yeah, I kind of want to take a nap.
Well, that's our show. Tune in next week when we just film ourselves doing nothing but napping. Party on, dudes! Alright, here's Rohan sitting down. And, oh, what is he smoking? You know, pot smoking's illegal.
Hey, don't accuse me of anything.
Yeah, see, look at that pot. It's smoking.
There we go. Alright, we're good.